Hello and welcome to this video on Astrub's dungeon. And we're gonna start with the dungeon's Grand Muse house, just to prove that I didn't forget about it. But there's not much to say about it. The rooms are small, there's a cat, you hit the cats, you win. Now let's talk about the dungeon larva. Here monsters are gonna be interesting for newcomers. Each larva has a weakness in an element which depends on its color. For newcomers, that's a good way to train yourself by checking the resistance of a monster before hitting it, so that you can hit it on its weakness or hit another monster. On the last room, we'll have a slow boss with only 3 movement points, and good for us because the boss has a spell that hits everyone around it. It also has a spell that has good range in AoE damage and remove MP, so don't stay too close to your friend. The last mechanic will be the Shin Larva's eggs. Each turn, 3 eggs will appear close to you, and little larva will grow out of it in the next turn. To avoid that, you need to step on it, you or your summon. Therefore, those larvae are summoned too, so if you kill the boss, they will disappear. Next, the Royal Goball. In this dungeon, keep an eye on War Chief Goball. They can charge you from 4 cells away. It will stun you, and your turn will be passed. So don't align yourself with them and stay behind wall as much as you can. Same for the Royal Goball. It also has a charge spell. It can also use a simple attack in melee, but has an orbital laser that hits 3 cells in front of it, so you will not be protected behind your allies, and it can do it every turn. When the Royal Goball has less than 50% of its HP, it will gain damages and unlock a spell that make it gain resistance. And the last level 20 dungeon, the Royal Tofu. In this one, the Tofu buy will be annoying. It can attack you from 5 cells and reduce your range. And when it starts its turn low HP, it will teleport elsewhere on the map. For the Royal Tofu, it will play around our WAKFU points. Every time a character uses a WAKFU point, the Royal Tofu will lose some resistance, but gain a movement point in exchange. It can use basic attacks, but also has an AoE attack that push everyone around it. So you should not stay close to each other and restrain yourself from using too many WAKFU points at the start if you don't want to focus the boss. Now we can go on level 35 dungeons and start with the Morfor. Here every monster are undead and are damaged by heal. If you can play some rare class that can heal enemies, it's fun to kill them like that, but you need to be careful not to become an undead yourself. If the enemy hits you, you will gain a level of putrefaction, and at level 10 you will become an undead, also damaged by heal. Well, actually, if you really took 10 hits in a row without healing yourself, you may be just dead. For the boss, it can hit in range of 4 cells and around it, both in AoE. And one more thing, it can buff one of its ally, 3 turns after the buff. If that enemy hits you, you will die instantly. Next, the Royal Piwi. In this dungeon, every time a Piwi will peck you, you will lose some resistance and it's cumulative. The monster to focus is the pink Piwi. They can heal, but most importantly, they can use a spell, Primer, on another Piwi. On the next turn of the pink Piwi, the other Piwi will transform into a Goo Goo, increasing its HP, healing it on the same time, and when the Goo Goo will play, it can use a spell to buff every enemies, in armor, crit chance, block or MP. The Royal Piwi will attack you with a spell that hits every element, and another that hits in a light element. And since you lose some resistance every time they peck you, the Royal Piwi can deal a lot of damage. And the last dungeon in Astrub, the Treechnell dungeon. Here be careful with the Arachne Embroiderer, that can attract you if you're aligned with it and poison you. Arachne also use that poison. The Treechnell summon Arachne and can heal itself, and Treechnell can heal its ally. It can also root itself to regain some HP, gain some resistance, but losing fire resistance and pass its turn. For the Treechnell, it doesn't play first like other bosses. It can do a lot of damage around it. It also has a poison and can attack in the 5 cells ahead, so don't stay too close to your friend to avoid AoE. The boss may seem tanky with all its HP, it also has a rear weakness in addition to its fire weakness, so if you use fire spell when behind it, you will really increase your damage output. A good reminder that, when possible, always strike in the back of your enemies, and use their elemental weakness. And that's all for today. I will see you on the level 50 dungeon video. Bye!